The finals just had its brand new update 5.7. We'll go over all of the new store additions, as well as what we have for one of the small fixes. We have some brand new updates with Nvidia, so if you do have their GPUs, you will get some brand new feature sets. We'll talk about all the future ones there as well. After that, we'll cover some developer updates, as well as those last minute mentionables from the community and myself. We got a ton to talk about. What's up, world? It's Utopia back in with another video. Today we're checking out all things the finals. Okay, so let's just jump right into it. Update 5.7. Of course, as always, we do have our update and our opening statement from Oscar, who went on here to say that store update 5.7 is now live, and this store update introduces a certain Harry legend to the arena. We'll go over the store portion in a bit here. They're also looking to head to 5.8, which will be their mid-season balance patch, complete with key adjustments to the overall game balance. On the fixes side of things, they've removed the eliminate 5 opponents from 30 meters or more while using a gadget contract, as it currently wasn't tracking properly. And if you had this contract assigned to you, you will now have been assigned a new one. So you won't have to worry about that there if you did select it for either your club or just in general. And yeah, as Oscar does mention, this is a store update, and we do have a store update portion for that, where we did again get 3 new items. That is the Harry Hiker set, which does feature the mythical creature, either Bigfoot or a Sasquatch. People seem to really like this one. There is a lot of good reception around it. Also does contain the Sunstone set, as well as the MGL 32 animation bundle. As someone on the subreddit did point out, they actually did have this in the files already. People have known about this animation, at least for the MGL 32, for about 2 months now. That does cover for the patch notes side of things. Of course, as they do mention here, this is a store update and just a weekly update overall there, whereas 5.8, not 5.7, will be getting the balance patches. So we'll be seeing some meta changes potentially, which does seem like the case because they're calling that the mid-season update. A lot of people have been waiting for that. They've been hoping for a mid-season update, so hopefully there is a decent amount of changes in there. As Oscar does mention here, he started calling these store updates to hopefully level expectations there a bit, as they used to just label these patch updates or just updates in general, but now when they're just store changes with maybe one small fix there, they are just now labeling these store update. Again, to temper some expectations there a bit. Someone asked why they're refusing to balance any weapons, but as Oscar points out here, they will be doing that with 5.8, as the studio did just get back into full swing of things. I know NA is not used to having vacation weeks, but in other parts of the world, they actually do get several weeks of vacation time. Embark was one of those studios, so a lot of studios didn't really have a lot of patches or couldn't put out a lot of patches during the holiday season, as most people were out of the office. And not everybody was back in the studio until about 1.5 weeks ago, so they haven't had the most amount of time to get balance patches and changes into fruition. Again, it is different in other parts of the world, and I actually do appreciate Embark for giving their employees the vacation and the break they need. I do wish NA would follow suit there. Of course, that is beside the point though. Moving on from some of our dev updates there, we do actually have some official updates here, and this in particular is with Nvidia GPUs. So if you haven't seen a lot of the recent announcements, although more than likely if you are a PC gamer you're going to be getting spammed with this, a lot of the brand new 5080 and 59 reviews have been coming out. However, that's not the update we're talking about here. We're actually talking about DLSS. So of course, if you have an Nvidia GPU, more than likely if you're on the 2000 plus series, you're probably using DLSS. If not DLAA, at least you should be, as it's better than regular anti-aliasing. However, the full update there is that DLSS 4 is going to be going to the finals. Now you might ask, when are we getting this? Actually, we're getting day 0 support for the finals for DLSS 4. Now this does coincide with the 5090 and 5080 launch. That's actually happening tomorrow. So with the 5080 and 5090 going out for launch and being able to be purchased, DLSS 4 is also dropping. And there's actually a decent amount of games that are receiving day 0 support. In fact, 75 games are getting DLSS 4, and that's just on day 1. Now why is this significant to the finals? Well, the finals is included in that day 0 support. And this doesn't matter if you have a newer series or not, everybody is getting DLSS 4. So as long as you have a 2000 plus series or newer GPU from Nvidia, you will be getting DLSS 4. I know there's a lot of confusion of what DLSS, what generations get it. Everyone on that 2000 plus series will be getting DLSS 4, it's just that certain features will be locked to the new series GPUs. And really, it's only 2 features that are locked, and one is just a time-gated release. So for DLSS 4, we're going to be getting a new transformer model, which essentially will make the game a lot clearer if you do use it. And you'll also get some performance jumps there. You'll get some nice ray reconstruction technology also added in there. And if you do purchase a 5000 series graphics cards, this is the difference here, you'll be receiving DLSS multi-frame generation. That is literally the only feature that is locked to the newer series graphics cards. So everything else in DLSS 4 including ray reconstruction and just the DLSS in general, and DLAA. That's going to be on everyone's 2000 series or newer graphics cards. The only thing being locked to the new generation is the multi-frame generation, where singular frame generation is locked to the 4000 series. I actually do use this. I use DLAA plus the frame generation. It actually kind of won me over. I didn't think that frame generation was very good. After updating from a 2070 to a 4070 Ti Super, I will say that frame generation in general has won me over. It does have a little bit of screen tearing, but with G-Sync it actually does run perfectly fine. Now there is one more feature that is locked to the 5000 series card, but it's only for a period of time. That is the new Reflex 2 frame warp. Now this tech is insane and absolutely will help with some latency issues, at least as far as hardware latency. There's a ton of cool stuff here. In fact, they actually use the finals to feature this technology. What it essentially does is in-painting with AI and predictive rendering. The technology is absolute magic, where just by enabling Reflex low latency plus Reflex 2 with frame warp, that knocks down the buffer range all the way down 75%. 50% of that is with the new Reflex 2 warp technology, so just absolutely insane, all the way from 56 milliseconds to 14 milliseconds, which will be absolutely insane for those that really want low latency gaming. Now again, this feature is locked to the 5000 series, but only because it's going to debut first with that. Where again, support will be added for the other RTX GPUs in a future update, as they do state here. So don't worry, eventually your other series cards, 2000 series or newer, is going to be receiving this Reflex 2 technology. It's just that it's going to debut with the 5000 series cards at the start. Which again, as it does say here, it's going to debut with that. It looks like Reflex 2 frame warp is going to be coming to the finals at day 0. At least that's the impression I get from this. Still really cool. There's some amazing tech from Nvidia, as well as getting showcased and showcasing the finals. I'm really glad that the Embark team is trying to be at the pinnacle of this technology, especially from Nvidia there. I do know there's a lot of people that want the AMD FSR version. I assume at this point Embark is just going to be waiting for AMD FSR 4 technology. If you didn't know, AMD FSR is actually much harder to implement than DLSS, and AMD doesn't always provide the framework there. But hopefully we do get some more compatibility with FSR 4. Again, we don't have to wait for them to announce their cards there. We have to also wait for them to announce the technology. More than likely that will happen sometime soon. One last minute mentionable here, where this post actually did remind me of something. So Rob, the CEO and CCO of Embark, actually stated that he would start streaming if he got to 1,000 followers on Twitch. And so yeah, if you do want to see Embark Rob actually stream, you should go follow him on Twitch. I'll include a link to it down below. He is actually fairly close at 786 followers as of recording this audio. Of course, as always with last minute mentionables, we do have those features from my star models page, or we do have this one from your dumb friend, and he showcases off the new Ivana Cataclysm set, which I actually did purchase myself. It's one of the only sets I've ever bought in the finals. Really do like that one overall. But he says here he showcases off a version of his wife. Really cool there and very wholesome. Next up here we have one from Totu, who shows off a Johnny Silverhand impression from Cyberpunk 2077. Of course, that's also Keanu Reeves. Another really good one. He even takes the aspects into the emotes as well. Really like how he plays into all of that aspect there. Overall, it should about cover for today's video. If you like and subscribe, and until the next one. Deuces!